In modern cybersecurity, some of the most dangerous attacks never target your system directly. They don't break in through the front door, and honestly, they don't even knock. Instead, they quietly infiltrate the origin of trust itself. Hardware vendors, firmware developers, device manufacturing pipelines. Now tell me this, if the foundation itself is compromised, how safe is everything built on top of it? Because that is exactly what we're going to explore today. Welcome to Bluehat Cybersec Academy. And today's topic is one of the most advanced and stealthy threat models in cybersecurity, what we call supply chain firmware attacks, compromising hardware vendors. These are not ordinary attacks. They represent some of the most sophisticated and high-impact threats in advanced exploitation. And to really understand them, we need to start from the ground up. So first, what do we even mean when we talk about a supply chain in cybersecurity? A supply chain refers to the entire ecosystem involved in creating, delivering, and maintaining a product. For hardware systems, this includes chip manufacturers, firmware developers, device assemblers, BIOS or UEFI vendors, third-party driver providers, and distribution and update channels. Every single stage represents a potential trust boundary, and if even one of these is compromised, attackers may inject malicious code before the product ever reaches the end user. Now let's go even deeper into firmware itself. Firmware is low-level software embedded in hardware components, such as motherboards, BIOS, and UEFI systems, network cards, storage devices, GPUs, and embedded controllers. It runs below the operating system. And that one detail changes everything, because that means it executes before antivirus software even starts, it survives operating system reinstalls, and it can manipulate hardware behavior silently. So when we talk about a firmware attack, we are talking about targeting this invisible layer, a layer that gives attackers deep, persistent control over a system. Now the next question becomes obvious. Why are supply chain firmware attacks so dangerous? These attacks are not ordinary intrusions. They are dangerous because they operate in ways most defenses are not even designed to see. First, they operate below visibility. Most security tools work at the operating system level, but firmware exists beneath that layer, making detection extremely difficult. Second, they survive reinstallation. Even if a system is completely wiped and the operating system is reinstalled, the malicious firmware remains intact. Third, they scale across millions of devices. If a vendor is compromised, every device they ship could be affected. Fourth, they establish deep persistence. Attackers can maintain long-term access without triggering obvious symptoms, and that is what makes them so dangerous. So how do these attacks actually happen? Let's walk through the process step by step at a high level. The first stage is the compromise of vendor infrastructure. Attackers may target build systems, firmware signing pipelines, and developer environments. Then comes the injection phase, where malicious modifications are introduced into legitimate firmware code or update packages. After that is distribution through trusted channels. And this is where it gets dangerous, because the firmware is signed or distributed through legitimate vendor systems, so it appears completely authentic to customers. Next is deployment on end devices. When devices are updated or shipped, the compromised firmware is installed. Finally comes persistent control or covert operations. Once active, attackers can intercept system operations, modify boot processes, and establish stealth persistence mechanisms, all while remaining largely invisible. Now, to make this real, we need to connect it to actual incidents. One major example is the SolarWinds cyber attack. In this case, a compromised software update pipeline allowed attackers to distribute malicious code to thousands of organizations, including government agencies. It showed how trust in update systems can be weaponized at scale. Another important case is the LoJax UEFI Rootkit campaign. This was one of the first known UEFI firmware rootkits observed in the wild. And it proves something critical, that persistence can exist below the operating system itself, inside firmware. Together, these incidents highlight a powerful truth. Trust in the supply chain can be exploited at multiple layers, not just software but deep within hardware ecosystems. Now the natural question is, why are these attacks so hard to detect? First, lack of visibility. Most endpoint security tools cannot reliably inspect firmware integrity in real time. Second, trusted execution assumptions. Firmware is often implicitly trusted by the operating system, and it sits at the foundation of the boot process. Third, vendor complexity. Modern devices involve multiple firmware components, often from different suppliers. Fourth, rare baseline checks. Many organizations never verify firmware state after deployment, so compromises can remain hidden for long periods. Because of this, defense has to be layered. There is no single fix. One major control is secure boot and chain of trust. Secure boot ensures only cryptographically signed firmware, and bootloaders execute during startup. Another is firmware signing and verification. All firmware updates must be digitally signed, verified before installation, and protected against rollback attacks. Then we have hardware root of trust using TPM. A Trusted Platform Module, or TPM, helps establish hardware-based system integrity verification. Next is firmware integrity monitoring, where organizations track firmware hashes, unauthorized modifications, and unexpected state changes. Vendor risk management is also critical. Security teams must evaluate vendors for secure development lifecycle practices, code review maturity, and incident response capability. Then there is SBOM for firmware, which is an emerging practice. A software bill of materials, or SBOM, extended to firmware helps track dependencies across hardware systems. Secure update channels are equally important. Firmware updates should always be encrypted, authenticated end-to-end, and protected from downgrade attacks. Finally, physical security for high-risk environments includes restricting physical access, locking firmware flashing interfaces, and monitoring for tampering. Now looking forward, supply chain firmware attacks are becoming even more relevant. Future defenses will likely include mandatory firmware transparency requirements, AI-driven anomaly detection, stronger hardware attestation systems, and international vendor security standards. But attackers will evolve too, continuing to target weaker links in global manufacturing chains. So, let's bring this all together. Supply chain firmware attacks represent one of the most powerful and stealthy threats in modern cybersecurity. By compromising hardware vendors or firmware pipelines, attackers can bypass traditional defenses entirely and gain long-term control over systems at the most fundamental level. And the key takeaway here is simple. Trust must never be assumed. It must always be verified at every layer. Now, before we end, here's your challenge. If a system is fully reinstalled but still shows signs of compromise, what layer would you suspect first, and why? And second question, why do you think firmware-level attacks are more dangerous than traditional malware? Think about it, and if you're learning with others, discuss it out loud. And if this breakdown helped you understand how deep modern attacks can go, you're just getting started. This is part of our Advanced Hacking Attacks and Exploitation playlist. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Bluehat Cybersec Academy, because in the next sessions, we're going even deeper into real-world exploitation techniques, persistence mechanisms, and advanced threat models that define modern cybersecurity. See you in the next one.